how well they are doing in the tech ecosystem. But right now, we have to move on to introducing our guests. Yes, our guest, Fasasi Tariq. Guys, can you see? Fasasi is a fresh guy, fresh tech bro, making product design money. He leads the product design team at Dojah. Yeah, he leads so for you to be a product design lead, that means you have a wealth of experience. You are grounded. You have worked on multiple projects. No be today, right? Allow me to use that. No be today. And this guy is doing wonderfully well in the tech ecosystem, cashing out, and he has a lot of things to share with us on this call today. Me personally, I'm so excited to be on this call with Fasasi today, to learn a whole lot from him today. My check, Fasasi, are you on the call? We'd like to meet you.
Yeah. Good morning.
All
Thank
right,
you
Fasasi.
for yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. It will be great if you can see your video. We want to see, the face behind the fresh tech bro that is talking. It will be great. I would really appreciate if we can see your face. Okay, so that's it. So, Fasasi, we have some questions for you today. Some questions, frequently asked questions about product design, and I'm sure you're ready to answer these questions. So, guys, it's time for the panel session where we'll be having taking questions and having answers to your questions so that you gain clarity about product design. So, Fasasi, quickly, I would like you to introduce yourself, how you got started, the story behind your decision into product design, because there's always a story behind your choice, a choice of tech skill, right? Fasasi, please shoot.
Okay. Hi. Uh my name is Tariq. I started designing generally about 9 years ago. I started product design about 5 years ago. So I was a graphic designer before I transitioned into product design. And I started designing due to my school was on strike, so I needed to pick up a skill. And at the time, I just thought about giving design a chance. I actually wanted to learn print design, but the person I wanted to learn it from was not available. So, I went online and I saw that I could just learn Photoshop online, and then I picked it up and I started, you know, learning from there. So, and it's been a journey. It's been quite a journey from that time to now. So that's the brief intro about me.
All right. Thank you very much, Fasasi. You mentioned something that really, caught my attention. I can tell you for a fact, and that's where you mentioned that you picked interest in graphics design. So I have a question, right? Is graphics design the same thing as product design? Because people sometimes confuse graphic design as product design, or maybe I'm the one that feel it's not the same thing. Can you give us clarity on that?
So graphic design is not the same as product design. You can be a product designer without necessarily knowing how to do graphics. And you can know how to do graphic design without knowing how to do product design. It's just design. Both of them are under the design spectrum, but they are not the same thing. You do different things generally in them. For example, in graphic design, you would generally work um, your work would generally be doing logos, doing flyers, typically just working around print and media design. But with products, your work is focused on actual products, could be digital products ranging from fintech to healthcare to any type of digital product really. And you focus more on the product side of things, how the product works, user research and all this user focused things. But in graphics, you just do print media really. So it's not the same thing. You don't even use the same software, except you are very good at the software, but you technically don't use the same software that you use as a graphic designer for product design. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. So see, you really gave a lot of clarity with that answer, right? Because I picked some things. I picked the fact that you could actually be a product designer without being a graphic designer before. Because I've had a lot of people be like, oh, since the design, do I need to be a graphic designer? Do I need to know how to design graphics before I can become a product designer? And usually I tell them no, because they are two different things. Although the knowledge of graphic design can be an advantage for you, right? But it's not a necessity. It's not a must, right? For you to know how to um, do graphics design before you become a product designer. Yeah. So thank you very much, Tariq, for that wonderful, you know, response to that question. It's really, really, really helpful because it actually solves a lot of clarity issues. So I also like, please, if you're not talking, can you mute yourself? Okay, I think I need to meet Agbiola now. Okay, Agbola, okay. All right. Thank you very much. So I'll just move on with Tariq. Thank you very much for that answer, and I really like it. So personally, I would still like to ask, right? Because um, people also have some confusion when it comes to product design or tech generally. Tech generally, they be like, "Oh, before I can be in tech, I should have a science background, or I should have a computer science background, or an engineering background." Like, is this very necessary to becoming a product designer, Tariq?
Uh, so it's not, right? Even though I did do science, but I didn't do computer science. I studied mechanical engineering. And, it's not, I didn't learn design because I wanted to be better while I was studying engineering. So
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter. I have a lot of friends that didn't study sciences or, we're not even in art class. I have friends that dropped out of school. So I don't really think it matters what you study. It's just a skill. It's like knowing how to, let's say, plait hair. It really does. Nobody cares whether you studied something. As long as you're good at what you do, you're good at it. So it's not about what you studied. It's about your skill and your intelligence. And
Okay. Thank you very much, Tariq, for that. Thank you. So, guys, you can hear now that it does not matter what you study in school. I've actually met people too. There was this lady I met. She studied English, presently a product designer. I've met somebody who studied um, business administration, currently a programmer. The most important thing about this thing is, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to open your mind, to absorb the information and put in the work? Because definitely you are looking for money, right? You have to put in the work. It's you want to cash out, So you put in the work and keep going and keep pushing. Get a mentor, get somebody to hold your hands, and you definitely be fine. All right, thank you very much for that, Tariq. So Tariq, I there was a time I met somebody, right? And then this person told me he is a product designer. And so when we got talking deeper, I started mentioning tools that he used. Then I got shocked because the guy mentioned that he uses Canva as a product designer. Like Canva, he didn't even mention some tools at all. He just mentioned Canva, CorelDRAW. I was like, whoa, is that, are these the tools product designers use? Because those sound more like a graphic design tools, right? And so please, would you like to like share some of these tools that product designers use with us so that we can know?
yeah, sure. So it's funny that you mentioned that someone said they do product design and they use Canva and CorelDRAW. I But those are not the tools. Those are not the tools you would use as a product designer. So there are a lot of tools you could use. So there is Figma. I think Figma is one of the most popular tool that a lot of people are familiar with. But before Figma, there was Adobe XD, and there is also InVision, and there is Sketch. So these are like tools you can use, but they are not limited to that. You would also have to use some product related tools such as Miro, Jira, um, Confluence. There are a lot of tools you would use for different things. For example, if you are doing research, you would most likely use Confluence, Jira for to document your research. If you are doing user flows and just technically flows, you would have to use Miro. You could also do it on Figma now, but people like using Miro because it's more focused on flows compared to Figma. But me personally, I use Figma. The organizations always determine the kind of software you use. Some organizations like Adobe XD, some like InVision, and some like Sketch. But no, I don't think there's any organization that would say you should use Corel Draw or Canva for um, product design. I don't see in
Mm.
any scenario where that would happen.
Yeah, because I was actually surprised too, right? So I recommended for the person to do a lot of research, right? The person could attend, events about product design so that they won't have the wrong information, right? So that's it. Thank you very much for that clarity. At least we are hearing from you, who is, a top professional in the product design space, telling us that those tools are not design tools, like product design tools actually. So thank you. So somebody has a question in the chat box. I'll just be picking the questions in between while also ask my question. So, guys, if you have questions, this is the opportunity to ask all your questions about product design. So, Joshua says, I want to be clear if there are different types of product design. So, Tariq, that's a question for you.
Well, there are actually, even though most people don't focus on the other forms of product design that exist, but there are two types of product design. Technically, there are industrial product design and there are digital product design. So digital product designers are the UI UX, right? And then the industrial product designers are mostly the people that create 3D mockups of um, physical product. So for example, before a mobile phone is created, so if you're using an iPhone, before an iPhone is created into a physical product, there's someone that sits down and design the mock-up of how it's going to look like. And then these mock-ups are now generated into physical products that the stakeholders look at and check for whether the design is fine or whether they want to change some other things. But there are people that what they do is industrial product design. They focus more on the 3D mockup, 3D creation of physical products. So those are the industrial product designers, and then there are the digital product designers that are the UI UX people, which is what I do. So
Oh,
yeah.
great. That's great. That's a lot of clarity there. I really like the way you answered the question. So breakthrough, Joshua. I hope you got your response there. Thank you very much for that wonderful question. So guys, please ask your questions because this is the time to get clarity about what you need, about your concerns rather. So I'll just move on with Tariq. So when it comes to transitioning into tech, people want to be like, oh, are there a lot of opportunities? It seems everybody is now in product design. When if I want to become a product designer, will I still get access to opportunities? I see a lot of bountiful opportunities for me. So please, I want you to talk to this kind of concern.
So the thing is, there are a lot of people in a lot of professions in the world. The world is large, right? Everybody cannot do the same thing, and that profession that you think is saturated is actually not. So, for example, you can still be a medical doctor now and still get an hospital to work. So you have to look at product design with the same lens. It's about how good you are at the end of the day. Companies only hire for value, not for the sake of just hiring. So if you start this product design today and you give a company value, they are going to hire you. So regardless of the number of people doing product design, regardless of the number of people chopping in every year. It's about how you as an individual can give value to the company you want to hire you. So you anybody can join, anybody can become a product designer. You just have to um, learn a lot, be open-minded because there's a lot of feedback that will come through as you are designing more products. And really, there's no limits. You know, if 1 million people join product design today, your opportunity will come. If 2 billion people start doing product design today, your opportunity will come. I feel like we even have a shortage of product designers in the world because you would always see that they are hiring somewhere, maybe not Nigerian. Even in Nigeria, you always see opportunities because people will always move up, and it will leave gaps for new people to enter the industry. But if people are not entering, then there will just be gaps because people would always move up anyway. So,
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is to say that, see, guys, there are a lot of opportunities. So I usually tell people that, see, in the tech ecosystem, right, there are always opportunities. But how good are you? In fact, there are a lot of opportunities, even more than the talent. Sorry, more opportunities more than the talent, right? But are you prepared to take on these opportunities? Are you grounded? Are you ready? So that's the question you should be asking yourself. So Tariq, please, we would like to see your face. If you can switch on your video, let's put the face to your name and to your voice. It's really be wonderful. Oh, great, Tariq. Thank you very much for that. It's good to finally see your face. All right. Um, Okay, so guys, I also have a question here in the chat box. I see, uh, I see a question
You
from
are
Patton.
my king.
Hello, please, Friday, please, can you mute yourself? All right. Okay, thank you very much. So Patton says, can you differentiate software dedicated to digital product design and those for industrial product design?
um, I can try. For digital product design, which is where my own expertise. You use Figma, Sketch, InVision, Adobe XD. You can also use Miro for documentation and other things, Jira for documentations too. For industrial product design, I know about some tools. So there is Spline, there is Cinema 4D, I don't think those are like the two I can remember because I don't really use them, but they are used for 3D, to create 3D mockups and other things. Um, so the difference between them is always that digital product design is more 2D-ish. So 2D softwares are like WhatsApp, Instagram, they are 2D. Physical products are 3D because they have 3 dimensions. So like your laptop, your phone, your TV, basically anything that you can physically hold. Those are 3D products. So you have to create them on a place where you can do 3D. And in digital product design, you don't get to do 3D a lot, except you want to use 3D illustration. So
Oh, great,
yeah.
great. Thank you very much for that. I believe Patton got some insight on that. I see how I think questions are rolling in now. That's really great. Similarly, I think you are really eating the questions, hard and bringing out more questions, which is very, very wonderful. So Destin is saying that do I need a knowledge of coding to start product design skill?
You don't. I mean, I don't know how to code per se. I mean, I understand coding now, but I don't still know how to code. I can't write code, but I can read it and I can understand it. But when I started, the reason why I transitioned into product design was because I didn't want to code in the first place. So you don't have to.
Great, great, great. That's a precise and concise answer. So guys, you don't need to know how to code to become a product designer. But as you keep learning on the job, you may start learning how to read codes, and try to understand what they are doing. I think it will just aid how you design well
Yeah,
for convenience of your front end developer, right?
yeah,
So yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you very much for that, Tariq. So I also have a question from Vicky's Kennel. What a wonderful name. All right. Please can I get explanation on the three F's in product design? Hope this person is not a product designer. Okay, let's just go on. Tariq, please go on.
um I don't know what the person meant by three F's though.
So Vicky's kernel, if you can expatiate that question,
Do
that
do they mean fun, functionality, and flow? Is that the three F's they are talking about? Uh,
most likely, most likely,
but I would like to, you know, if they could give
a
more
much more detailed,
clarity so
yeah.
that I won't explain the three F's that I know about and it won't be the three F's they are talking about.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. So, Vicky's kernel, please, if you can rephrase your question, it would be helpful. Thank you. Joshua is here again. Joshua says, what's the difference between product development and product design?
So product designers deal with design. Technically, you're a designer, you're designing the interfaces. The only part of the development that concerns you is the handoff when you're handing off to your front end. Product development could be a host of things. So if I'm a product developer, I can take the product from, the research to design to development. So I'm doing like three people's job at a time. So, product developers are not a lot because it's always stressful. You are doing three people's job as a one person. Um, but it's people exist, people do. There are people that are very, very, good at this thing. So, you know, you are as a product developer, you are involved in the three processes of a product life cycle. So from the beginning, you take it from the beginning until the end. So that's your job as a product um, developer.
All right.
Once
Okay. Thank you.
you
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Tariq. Okay. I'll just move on to the next question from Timilein. So Timilein is saying for an entry level who does not have knowledge in any form of designs, how do we go about being a better product designer?
so as an entry level that does not know about design at all, you have to be very, very open to the learning, right? I always tell people that if you want to learn, do not rely on anybody's knowledge, right? People would only teach you to an extent. It's now up to you to pick it up from wherever they dropped you to where you want to be because nobody will give you a full knowledge. So even if you go to school, the school will only teach you what they can teach you. They won't give you the full knowledge until you go out there and then you pick these things up yourself. They can only teach you what they can teach you. So if you want to be a very good product designer, I would say be very, very overzealous about learning because learning does not end. In tech, you learn every day. There are new technologies that come out every day. There are new guidelines, new processes that come out every day, new softwares that come out every day. So you have to be open to learning a lot, and it's a continuous thing. And there's no end in sight. Even high as I am, I still learn every day. I still have things that I want to still learn. I still have goals that I want to still, eat every day. So it's really about then, the best way would be creating a roadmap for yourself. So what are the targets you want to hit? What do you want to know in 3 months? What do you want to know in 6 months, in 9 months, and in one year? So that you'll be able to see whether you are actually progressing or you are not. So you don't want to be in, you know, in a place and think, oh, I'm gaining, while you're not actually gaining anything. So yeah, I'll say just know what you want to do, because there are a lot of information out there, so you have to be able to pick the one that is useful and drop the ones that are not, because you see a lot of people talking from a lot of different point of views. And also know that everybody's journey is different. The way I learned design might not be the way you would learn. If it might take me like 2 weeks or 2 months to get a job. It might take someone else 6 months to get a job. But like everybody has their own journey. So don't look at anybody else's journey and think, oh, that person we started at the same time and they're already doing well. You might start late and then surpass the person. So yeah.
Great, great. Thank you very much. I really like the fact that you put some hints and motivation into the talk, because I really like motivation actually, and not like our motivational speakers that will say you can actually face a lion. Don't mind me. So all right. I also have a question from Femi. This question usually pops up every time. People tend to ask this question a lot, and it's understandable because these roles are quite close. And it's saying, what's the difference between a product designer? Okay, what's the difference between product design, product management, and project management?
So the difference between product design, product management, and project management is that, so for product design, again, you focus more on the design. The only difference, so there is I think the actual question should be, what's the difference between a UI UX person and a product designer? Because as a UI UX person, you are not, fully inside the whole product life cycle. But as a product designer, you get to be part of the receptive, and then you do the flow, and then you also you work closely with the product manager as a product designer. So product managers are, they work, product managers set vision, they set goals, and they set business trajectory for a product. Do you understand? So a product manager would say, okay, in our company, our app, we want it to hit maybe 1 million downloads, right? And we want to hit this 1 million downloads in 6 months, right? And then it will help our business grow. That's the role of a product manager. Now, a product designer will come and say, okay, design wise, how do we take our app or product to reach these goals? So, do we need to design a new feature? Do we need to add something that we don't currently have? Do we need to make our user experience better so that people will not be dropping off? So people won't want to sign up and be having troubles. If that's why we're not hitting our goals. So the product designer and the product manager will think about this thing and say, okay, this is the solution. Then the product designer will now carry that solution and design it if it needs design. So but as a project manager, right, the job of a project manager is you can have, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think I had a network
So
glitch shortly.
Oh, okay. So the job of the project manager is that there could be many products. So you could be working on a fintech app, a transportation app, and an healthcare app. The project manager would be in charge of these three projects and be asking the product manager for updates. So the project manager could say, oh, you product manager, how is the design going, or have they started development, what's going on, right? um the for different products. Do you understand? So the project manager is more the person that makes sure that the project gets done. It's a big project, so the company is a project. So you can have three products under that one project, right? So the project manager is in charge of those three products, but the product manager is only in charge of one product at a time. So the product manager is like the strategic person, the person that thinks about how one product can be good at a time. It's always just one product. sometimes it's more than one, but it's mainly a product. But the project manager is the one that makes sure that the product manager, the product designer, the developers, both the front end and the back end, make sure that they deliver on time. I know it's still
Very.
confusing, but I hope I was able to at least simplify it a bit.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Yeah. It's
all of them, the three work together most times in different organizations. There are some organizations that don't use project managers too. But in an organization where there is a project manager, the product manager, the product designer, and the project manager often work together to make sure that, the company progresses.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much for that, Tariq. It's really, really a very, very wonderful way of answering that question, and with case studies and examples, really, really nice. Thank you very much for that. So I have a question from Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I'm so sorry. We take this question when we're trying to round up this panel session. The advice you have for people who wanting to start. So sorry. We definitely take your question. Yeah. So I'll just move on. Okay, I think Vicky's kernel has a explanation for the three Fs. I think it's form, fit, function. It said there's form, functionality, and
Yes,
and
and
there's
flow.
form, fit, and
Yes.
function. So
So yeah, I mean, mostly the three F's that are mostly used is the fun, functionality, and flow. So in product design, we have something called fun, functionality, and flow, where you design for fun, right? So designing for fun is not necessarily designing um, you know, for play. It's just making a particular design easy to use, such that people use it as a second nature, right? So an example is when you design a slippers, right? It's not digital products, but like, when you design a physical product such as slippers, you want to make it comfortable such that when people wear it, it's just second nature. Um, an example of a digital product that you design for fun is like WhatsApp. People find WhatsApp easy. That's why everybody's using it. If it was not easy, people would not be using it. The reason why WhatsApp still has many users more than like Telegram is because people find it fun to use. They find it easy to use. Do you understand? It's very easy to use. So that's when you design for fun. Now, when you design for functionality, you don't particularly care whether the product is easy to use. You just want to make sure that it works. So there are many products that are designed just for working, that as long as it works, you don't care how it looks like, as long as it works, right? So that's designing for functionality. You can, it might be ugly, the experience might be bad, but does it work? Does it make, does it make it easy for people to do what they want to do? As long as it's easy, then that's what you really care about. And then there is designing for flow. So flow is more like you know making sure that when people are using something, it is used under like a very you know they maintain a particular usage of it. I don't know how to explain it. Let me see if I can simplify it. So when people are using, let's say, WhatsApp, let me use WhatsApp again because it's very common. So when people are using WhatsApp um, for the first time, there's a particular flow, right? So you sign up, you put your name, and then you start chatting. That's designing for flow because it is very linear. You don't try to add anything else. WhatsApp did not try to add anything else. There's no password. You don't start putting password. Until recently, there was no two-factor authentication on WhatsApp. It was just put your number and start using WhatsApp. So that's designing for flow because you want to maintain a very linear condition to your design. So if I was going to design something similar to WhatsApp now, I will not start adding sign up and say put your number and then put password. I've broken the flow. If I'm going to design WhatsApp now, it will be put your number and then get started. So that's designing for flow, where you look at other products that are similar. space as yours, and then you design, the onboarding or the experience the same way or similar to the way that, it has been generally designed, and make sure that, the users are satisfied with the experience generally.
Mhm.
I hope I was able to explain that.
Yes, I really love the explanation. I'm sure Vicky's kennel also loved this explanation. I know using a real life and relatable case study and product to explain this, it's really insightful. Thank you very much for that explanation. So, Kennel, Vicky's kennel, I'm sure you got that response. So I'm going to be asking two questions together, Joshua and Ofoma's question. And Joshua is saying, what are the two most important skill of a product designer? And Ofoma is saying, what's the remote salary of a product designer?
So to answer the first question, the two most important skill is your curiosity and your problem solving ability. Those seem vague, but they are really the thing you would need most, right? So because you be faced with different problems. It's not all design. We are not all going to be designing mobile bank apps. There are always different softwares or different applications you are designing as a product designer. You design applications you've probably not heard before in your life. So your capacity to be able to break problems down into smaller forms, right? So is what helps you be a better designer. So if someone comes to you now and says they want to design, let me use a bank app. So you use maybe GT Bank or maybe UBA, and someone now comes to you and say they want to make people signing up on UBA easy, right? Let's say the people sign up using 5 processes before. You want to make it shorter, so you want to turn it into 3 processes. You have to be able to think about things you can add or remove to these processes to make it easy. So your problem solving capacity, and then curiosity comes in when you are able to ask the right questions, not just ask random questions, but the right questions, such as what are the people that are going to use this thing, what are the problems these people are facing, what am I trying to do, what problem am I trying to solve as a designer on this project. If I had this button to this place, am I making it easy for the user to use this, or am I compounding their problem? So, you should be able to ask yourself questions and also ask stakeholders the right questions so that you won't be stuck or you won't do something that, people won't be able to use. So those are like the two skill. And I think if you have these two skill, there's really nowhere or nothing you can work on, or there's nowhere you can work at, you know. So yeah, those are like the two skills. For remote salary of a product designer, so it depends, right? I would say Nigerian companies pay differently from US, UK, or international companies generally. So entry level for Nigerian companies for junior product designer often is between 100 to 150,000. And then, mid-level is always from like 200K to about 300, 400,000. And then for senior level is always like 500 upwards, could be 500, could be 600, could be 1 million, really. If you're a senior person, it depends on how good you are with negotiation. For international companies, however, junior level is always like 20K per year, which is $20,000 to $30,000. And then this is per year, by the way. The Nigerian one is per month, but the international one is per year because they like to pay per year. So it could be $20,000 to $30,000 per year for junior role. And for mid-level role, could be $40,000 to $60,000 per year, and for senior role could be $80,000 upwards per year. So yeah, that's like the salary range of a product designer.
Great, great. Thank you very much for that. So guys, see, there are a lot of opportunities here in product design, and yeah, definitely salary range actually varies from location and organization too. So, and your negotiation power, right? So, thank you very much for that, Tariq. So, I have another question from Bonaventure. I think you answered this question earlier, but maybe it still needs clarity. And the question is UI same as product design? And are they regarded as front-end developers too?
So UI is not, you know, you can be a UI UX designer, not be a product designer, right? You do similar work, but the difference is as a product designer, you are, more concerned with the whole product, not just the interface and the experience. You're also interested in, or you are part of the whole conversation of how the product will work, the research. You do how all of these things affect business goals, right? But as a UI UX person, you really don't care about the business goals. Your own is just to work. Your own is to do the UI and then make the experience good. Whether the business makes money from it or not is really none of your concern. So that's the difference between a UI UX person and a product designer. It is the same job. The only difference is that the product designer cares more about the business goal, then goes ahead to also look at other parts of the product and what could be improved. And it's part of the whole product life cycle. A UI UX person is not part of the whole product life cycle. They're just in the UI UX part. So a product can just need a UI UX person where they don't need someone to be part of the whole cycle. Some companies hire UI UX people, while some companies hire product designers. So that's the difference, really. Front-end developers are developers, they are programmers. They take design and code them out. So they are not designers, they're just developers, they are programmers. So there's front end and there's back end. Front end codes out your design, right? Because your design is just a design, it's not programmed yet. So your front end person makes sure that all your buttons work and then people can interact with them, people can use them. So they code. That's the difference.
Thank you very much. Right on point. Okay. So, guys, it's been a very wonderful session all through, and I'll just ask the final question. If you have further questions, definitely you can, you reach me after this call. You can also follow Tariq on LinkedIn. I'm sure that's his name on LinkedIn, Fasasi Tariq, and connect with him on LinkedIn. Is available to connecting with you. So Tariq, just the last question, which is coming from Elizabeth, right? What advice do you have for people just wanting to start a product design career?
First thing first, there's no right or wrong time to start. Uh, my mantra is if you think that learning design will take you 2 years, if you don't learn design, after 2 years, you would have just not learned design. 2 years would have passed. So if you want to learn, the right time is now. Also, don't look at people's journey, right? Because the journey could be different, but your destination might be better than another person's destination. So don't compare yourself. Also, be willing to learn different things. So don't stay in a particular box. It's easy to get boxed in, oh, I want to just design mobile apps, or I want to just design fintech apps, or I want to just design for a particular thing. Learn everything and then now decide that, okay, this is what I want to focus on. Because when you are just starting out, um, people like people that can do a lot of different things than someone that is specializing, right? So be open to learning different things, be open to learning on the job, be open to learning generally, right? And also don't put your faith in learning from just one person. Learn everywhere. If someone tells you they are going to teach you something and they don't have time, don't say, oh, because this person said they don't have time, so I'm going to learn it when they have time. If they say they don't have time, find a way to learn the same thing. I find out that people always find it easier to teach you when there is a point of um, reference. So it's easy to teach someone if they already know what product design is about than to just be explaining what product design is about to someone. So if someone comes to me and they're like, "Can you explain product design to me?" and say they want to become a product designer, the first thing I'll tell them to do is to do research about product design themselves and find out if it is something they're actually interested in and it's not peer pressure. So, and that goes for everything else. It's always easy when people can, just make corrections than when they are the one teaching you from scratch, especially for someone that does not have time. So if you come to meet someone that is busy and you're just telling them to be explaining something for you like a toddler, they might not have time. But if you go and ask them direct questions, right? Let's like very direct questions like, what does this do? It's easy to say, oh, this is what this does, than say, oh, explain what this tool is all about to me. Explaining what the tool is all about is very vague. So, you know, be open your mind, just do stuff and don't box yourself really.
All right, all right. Thank you very much for the advice, Tariq. I'm sure people got that. I also got that, and so it's a very good thing that we have actually learned a whole lot from Tariq today. Gotten a lot of answers to our concerns, which is the essence of this session today. I'm sure everybody got value today. Thank you very much, Fasasi Tariq. It's a very wonderful session with you. It's an honor to have you here on this session and take our questions. Thank you very much. So, guys, you can connect with Fasasi on LinkedIn. All right. Thank you,
Yeah, we
Fasasi.
can connect. Yeah,
All right.
thank you for having me. It's been nice having this conversation. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye, Fasasi. So, guys, we'll be moving on to our program structure shortly. Right, our program structure here at QA, we can actually help you get started in product design. Yeah, I can tell you for a fact. We help you get started from the scratch, from the fundamentals, right? And our trainings are hands-on. When I mean hands-on, you are going to be, getting your hands dirty, getting your hands busy. You are diving deep into it, diving into the real work. Then you'll be learning from practicing professionals. When I mean practicing professionals, I mean product designers, people that actually work with organizations. These are the guys that you'll be learning from. Who else should you learn from if not from the practicing professionals themselves, right? And you'll be building your portfolio. And you can't build your portfolio if you don't work on projects. So with us, you work on projects. It's more like an internship with us where you have the opportunity to work on different projects, building different products, right? And you definitely do that. And you can actually make a post. We'll be taught about all these things. Make a post about it on LinkedIn, join product design communities to share, some of your work. And you can actually get jobs from there. I knew somebody who got job from just not applying, but just from his post or some of the work that I was seeing on LinkedIn. So that's the kind of things guide you on. Then moving on to how we support our students. So you have the opportunity to join our own community of product designers from over 30 countries. Once you become our own student, you're part of this community. And you know what community can do for you, right? You can learn from one another. You can even access opportunities. When we also have opportunities, we can share with you. And you also have a session called a LinkedIn optimization session, right? Where you learn how to optimize your LinkedIn. It's more like a class, right? And we have sessions like this to optimize your LinkedIn, optimize your CV, you know, and you also see how you can, use it to get opportunities. Then CV review and interview preparation. So we have opportunities where, sorry, situations where our students or our learners, are done with training, they are confident enough to apply for jobs. They now have job interviews they want to do, and they just need some guidance, maybe to talk to somebody like us, right, to guide them possible questions that can be asked. Yes, we can have that conversation too. Yeah. Then we also give you a recommendation letter. So we have situations where some of our learners, in fact, many of our learners have gotten jobs, right? They just need a letter of recommendation from where they learned, right? We can give you a letter of recommendation. Yes, we can give you, provided that you actually are our alumnus. Then access to remote job. Yes, yes, this is another session. So we usually have sessions like this to show you how you can access job opportunities, remote jobs. Everybody's dream job is okay, almost everybody. Because I have people that still prefer to do hybrid. They want to leave their homes on some days, but everybody wants a flexible working style, right? So we have these sessions to prepare you and guide you on how to access this kind of opportunities. Then we have actually come to the end of this session, but I'm sure you want to ask questions. You want to, you need recommendation, you need answers, you want to get started, you don't know how to get started. That is our email address on the screen, hello@quantumanalyticsco.org. You can shoot us an email or you can chat or call any of those numbers you can see. If you want to talk to me personally, that's my number, the first number that ends with 11. That is my number. And I can also drop my email address. I'll drop my email address in the chat box. If you want to, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach me via my email. I'll be dropping it in the chat box right away. So, guys, it's been a very, very wonderful session with you guys. It's been a very, very wonderful session with you all. And I can't wait to see you on the class because I can tell you for a fact, right, that there are a lot of opportunities waiting for you. And it's best you start assessing these opportunities as soon as possible. As soon as possible, right? So that's my email address in the chat box. Feel free to shoot me an email. If you want to chat, you can chat me on the first number on your screen. You can call me. I'm available to, guide you and help you get started. So, guys, it's been a wonderful session today. I'm sure you got value. And I say Happy New Year in advance. Tomorrow is a new year. I pray we all do great stuff in 2023. And you can start doing straight great stuff by transitioning into tech as soon as possible. Do have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.